Thank you for joining us today. I personally think this intentional meltdown that was by design is going to be used for a giant step toward globalism, a new financial order, as our guest also agreed. Do you have an opinion on that?
Well, I do believe they're going to be introducing the Amero here very shortly. I do believe they're going to be trying to force on us the North American Union. I do believe that by 2010, I think is their date, May 2010, when you can just take the United States flag, the Canadian flag, and the Mexican flag and meld them all into one and realize the United States is done with. They're going to sweep away our Constitution, and like the UN says in its charter, about the private ownership of guns, citizens cannot own guns. There's going to be massive gun confiscation. There's going to be it's going to be horrible, and I don't see people in the United States. I mean, it could be. Our brains are swimming with fluoride and mercury in our shots, and people have been sitting around watching American Idol, and they don't even know what's going on. I mean, I've talked to some people about people out there in the construction world about the Amero and the North American Union, and they just kind of sit back and they get a glaze over their eyes, and they say, well, that might be a good idea. And I'm like, nobody thinks anymore, and nobody understands what's at stake.
Well, sir, I appreciate you joining us today. We've got 2 minutes left. We've got a couple things to wrap it up, but we certainly do appreciate you calling in.
All right, I appreciate your show. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Every week we do a poll, and this week on our poll, the name of our poll is Hypocrite of the Week. We had Monsanto, any government condoning genetically modified seeds and foods, the puppet media, as was proven last week on The Real News, Blackwater, the privately owned military, and the Council on Foreign Relations, bunch of sellout one-worlders. And the winner is Monsanto. And I also wanted to comment quickly that in the wake of Barack Obama's sweeping victory, at least one congressman is warning of things to come. Representative Paul Brown of Georgia has told the Associated Press he considers Obama a dangerous Marxist who may act on his promise to organize a domestic national security force on the par with the U.S. military. That was exactly what Hitler did in Nazi Germany, something maybe we can comment on again in the future. And again, our email address is onair@therealnewsradio.com, and our website's therealnewsradio.com. Wanted to say again quickly that next week in the Fed rally in Charlotte, they'll be at all the branches: New York, Atlanta, Washington. I think there's one in L.A., Chicago. There's one in Texas somewhere. But also, again, quickly, Brian, tell us again the website for Charlie Giles and the first responders.
That's the Feel Good Foundation. That's FEAL Good Foundation. We're going to be raising toys for them.
New toys, and what's the date we're going to be sending them?
We're going to be shipping those out December 3rd.
Okay, we'll be sending those out December 3rd. To do something locally, we have started a North Carolina chapter of We Are Change, wearechangенc.com. We want to affect real change locally and nationally. That's an international group. We've got a new website up on that. So if you email us, you'd like to donate any toys, just email us here at onair@therealnewsradio.com, and me or Brian One will contact you and make arrangements to pick it up. Or you could drop it off here at the station between 9 and 5. Again, the Fed rally next week, 12 noon, if you want to meet us down there. Can you give us that address again? Do you know that address?
It's 530 Trade Street in Charlotte.
Okay, and next week we don't have a guest scheduled. We're going to discuss the JFK assassination. We're also going to discuss the Federal Reserve banking system. And until next week, this is Farron, Brian, Jim, and Ty saying, God help us all.